Hello and thanks for joining us. This is the last weekly video of my first term. It's been nice to hear all the compliments and appreciation I've received by many of you who routinely watch and get their information from these recordings. I've been committed to being honest and straightforward with residents about issues the county is dealing with, whether the news is good or not so good. The purpose of these briefings, which during the height of the pandemic focused primarily on COVID, has been brought in to discuss other issues which we know are important to the community. As I begin my second term next week, I will continue to provide you these weekly messages, newsletters, social media, and engagement opportunities. And I encourage anyone who wants to correspond with me to go to montgomerycountymd.gov/exec and select the Contact Us tab. I hope you'll join us at the county's inauguration event next Monday, December 5th. Festivities start at 11 a.m. at the Strathmore. The next county council is the most historic, featuring 2 additional members, the most racially diverse, and for the first time ever, the county council will be majority female, with all 6 new members elected last month being women. Please join us for this historic moment. Tickets are free but must be reserved at montgomerycountymd.gov/inauguration. Our inauguration will also be shown live on MCM as well as streamed on the county's social media platforms. I was happy to see so much activity by the County Council in its final meeting of this first term. The decarbonization bill that was introduced last summer passed this week. The measure passed with amendments that will delay implementation and has exemptions for things like gas lines for outdoor grills and indoor fireplaces. I don't feel like the delays or exemptions were actually necessary, but otherwise, I applaud the Council for moving forward with such an important framework for new construction and major renovations. The point is to electrify new buildings so they're not contributing to our climate issues. It's an important step in our building energy performance standards and falls in line with the county's climate action plan. The Council also moved forward with an exciting project in Bethesda which will help reimagine the area surrounding the Farm Women's Market along Wisconsin Avenue. The surface parking lot surrounding the building will be transformed into public parks, housing, retail space, and underground parking. The project will create 320 multifamily dwelling units, and close to 50 of those will be below market price. This development will enhance the historic Women's Farm Co-op, while also bringing new opportunities to downtown Bethesda. And finally, the county approved our funding for the new UM3IHC. This is the Institute for Health Computing that was announced 3 weeks ago, that is still turning heads throughout our region in academic circles and with the media. This was a wonderful ending to our first term. I want to wish our departing members of the County Council, Council members Hucker, Reamer, Rice, and Navarro, best of luck in their future endeavors. As you know, this week we had a plane crash near the airport. I want to reiterate my thanks to all those who responded Sunday evening to a small craft's entanglement with high-tension wires near the airport. This was a unique and complicated emergency incident that knocked out power to over 120,000 Montgomery County residents at its peak. This was an incredible response and recovery effort from the Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Department while dealing with this unprecedented situation. I also want to commend and thank PEPCO and AUI Power for their quick work and collaboration to ensure that everyone was safe during this rescue, and they were able to restore power as soon as possible. Additionally, the Montgomery County Police Department, along with the Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, Maryland State Police, swiftly and adeptly managed traffic and monitored impacts on the county until power was returned. All in all, this incident, along with the Gaithersburg fire and building collapse 2 weeks ago, are examples of Montgomery County's first responding agencies at their very best. We're very fortunate to have such incredible talent and decision-making skills in our public safety departments, and we're very grateful for the quick actions and deliberative approach to ensure that everyone was kept safe. Our holiday season got off to a strong start this past weekend with the help of Small Business Saturday. In Montgomery County, we used our social media and local media to promote a few of the businesses operated by our residents as they buckled down for the busiest time of the year. On Saturday, I toured businesses in Gaithersburg, Germantown, and Damascus, and presented them with certificates to show my appreciation of their work. When money is spent in our local small businesses, it's more likely to remain local and be respent in our economy. That's why we spend so much time and effort helping entrepreneurs get their ideas off the ground and helping small business owners navigate what can be a tricky process of launching their own businesses. Some of our accelerator programs are done in partnership with companies like M&T Bank. Other workshops are tailored to Spanish-speaking audiences to help those business owners expand operations within the county. These classes are adaptive to give small business owners the best chance of success. We applaud the hard work of the small business owners and are glad to give them some of the spotlight during the holiday season. We hope you consider shopping small and seeking out small businesses as you search for your gifts this year. I want to take a moment to recognize what happened in the U.S. Senate this week with the passage of the Respect for Marriage Act. Quite frankly, it should have never taken this long to get legislation like this passed at the federal level. I do want to thank Senators Van Hollen and Cardin for their votes and advocacy on this issue for many years. Only 10 years ago, Maryland became the first state in the Union to vote for marriage equality by referendum. I believe this was a significant part of the domino effect to this being accepted everywhere and ultimately by the Supreme Court. I want to acknowledge and applaud our Chief Administrative Officer, Rich Madalena, who was a state senator a decade ago and was the lead sponsor of the bill that became the state law. It took his persistence, courage, and conviction to pass it in Annapolis and win a public referendum. Our county and nation are better off when all residents have equal rights and freedoms. Despite the rain on Tuesday, the county got a chance to celebrate a Vision Zero accomplishment, the first phase of the Bikeway project, which provides protected lanes for cyclists along Widmont and Bethesda Avenues, as well as across Wisconsin Avenue in downtown Bethesda, is now complete. This is now the third protected bike lane project finished under Vision Zero. As with each of these upgrades, we're hoping to make cycling, walking, and running in our communities safer. Now is a good time to look back on what we accomplished in 2022 with Vision Zero, and the answer is not enough. Last year, a little more than $100 million was spent on safety improvements. By next summer, we'll spend another $123 million. Some of that money will be spent on getting drivers to slow down, but pinning the blame on just drivers is wrong. Everyone that shares the road must abide by the rules of the road. Our hearts break for everyone we lose in traffic fatalities. In 2022, that's 47 people killed in crashes on our roads. They're not just statistics. Each death represents someone's mother, father, son, or friend. Let's all work together to make sure we can accomplish a goal of zero road deaths or serious accidents sometime soon. Please review our Vision Zero report by going to montgomerycountymd.gov/Vision Zero. This winter, we're more prepared than ever for COVID-19 with bivalent boosters and a high vaccination rate protecting Montgomery County residents. But there are still reasons to worry. Chief among them, the so-called tridemic, which is the early start to the flu season combined with the early and high rate of RSV and the lingering effects of COVID-19 threats. As I mentioned last week, hospitals across the DC region are starting to feel the pain. RSV cases are creating the kind of strain on hospitals we saw last almost a full year ago when the Omicron variant pushed through. Over the holiday weekend, capacity levels at our local hospitals were sometimes reaching into the red zone, which is very concerning. The state of Maryland started an RSV dashboard. Additionally, they're promoting a Fluster campaign with the hope that people will get both their flu shot and the latest booster to keep these respiratory illnesses from further overwhelming our hospitals and our healthcare system. This should sound very familiar to everyone around here. We've never wavered from our message to remain vigilant. As school was starting this year, we were encouraging families to stay up to date on boosters. We pushed flu shots early on, and that's why 30% of Montgomery County has already received its flu shot, outpacing the state, but it's not high enough. In the lead up to Halloween and Thanksgiving, we reminded families to stay home if they're sick and continued to push boosters and the flu shots. Christmas is coming soon, which means our guard should remain up. Let's hope this winter is remembered for the work we put in well ahead of time to prevent another wave of COVID. This week, we marked World AIDS Day. As much as we focus on COVID, Mpox, RSV, and flu, I wanted to acknowledge and thank the work of the Health and Human Services Department's HIV/STI services and all the preventive work and outreach they do. In 2019, the county was named an Ending the HIV Epidemic jurisdiction, along with Baltimore City, Prince George's County, and the District of Columbia. The initiative is a federal plan to reduce HIV infections by 90% in places in the U.S. where new infections are happening the fastest. Our plan outlines strategies to help us reach that goal. There are about 4,000 people in Montgomery County currently living with HIV, and an average of 123 people were diagnosed with HIV every year for the past 5 years. We encourage everyone to get tested for HIV even if you don't think you're at risk, seek treatment of HIV if you test positive, ask your healthcare provider about pre-exposure prophylaxis, the HIV prevention medication to reduce risk of HIV, learn the facts about HIV and talk with partners, family, and friends about it, and help us fight HIV stigma by showing support and compassion for people living with HIV. County residents seeking free or low-cost HIV testing, treatment, or prevention should contact Montgomery County HIV Services at 240-777-1869. Find out more about our efforts at doitforyoumc.org. With successful treatment, people living with HIV can live long, healthy lives and prevent the transmission of HIV to others. That's our wrap-up for today, and I hope you have a great week. And we'll be back again next week, and looking forward to talking to you again.